Good evening. My name is Robert Looney, and I'm going to be making this video in hopes to help you, someone that may be looking at going into the career path of becoming an AutoCAD tech. As myself, I am an AutoCAD tech and have worked in this field for the past year. Beginning of that year, I was a paid intern and have recently come to the status as an AutoCAD tech here at the office. I basically take any kind of field information that this land surveyor has acquired and bring it into the office and use this program called AutoCAD, which is a drafting online program, basically mapping, and will map out a job site and show all the features that are on that job site, so then you know exactly what you're going to be dealing with when you're building a structure. And I'm sure you're asking yourself, why exactly did you choose this career path? Well, I'll have to say, about 5 years ago I started working at this company. I worked in the field as a land surveyor, and for about 4 years I worked as a land surveyor, and through that time I always working outside. Summers are super hot here in Florida, and it was just killing me, and it kept on making me think, is this really what you want to do for the rest of your life? And I've seen a lot of other surveyors who have been working in this line of work for that long amount of time, for over 20 years. They're worn out, and they even say that it's eventually a dead-end job. Though they enjoy it, they realize that there's a point where you top out of making good finance from it, as well as it gets harder and harder as you go dealing with the weather. And I knew that eventually this was going to get boring to me, but I saw that as a fellow employee, Bryant King, who I had interviewed for this project, had gone through the same program that I had gone through. He wanted to become a CAD tech. He worked in the field with me as a land surveyor. As a land surveyor, you basically are able to better understand what's out there on a job and be able to get elevation shots and feature shots of everything out on a job site. Well, my fellow employee Bryant King, he was going to school while working here full time and wanted to become an AutoCAD tech. And halfway into his schooling, the company moved him into the office and began to give him extra training to be able to work on the program of AutoCAD. Working on the program AutoCAD, he learned how to do mapping and be able to crop and fix any kind of imperfections that were from the field work before it got to the client. I found this very interesting and realized that this is something that I'd be very much into, because I'm very much into critiquing and detail. I'd have to say that was probably one of my biggest values, is providing a good service and looking at fine detail on jobs, as well as anything I do when it comes to working or doing on my free time. If I'm working on a project, say working on my own vehicle or working on something of my home, I always want to make sure there's fine detail in the work I produce, so then it doesn't come back to bite me in the end. Of my five strengths, I had context, connectedness, individualization, intellection, and input. Of those five, I have to say I probably used the most intellection, which I very much enjoy using mental capacity, as well as pushing myself to think very hard when it comes to any kind of situation I'm in. I find that it's very beneficial when you push yourself and you go beyond the call of duty when it comes to getting a job done and trying to find out what else you can do to make that job shine. Very much trying to produce a better product, not just the bare minimum, but going beyond. As doing that, the client will see that and will continue to come to you for business. I found in my personal purpose when I did my paper that I very much was driven to go into this career path working at an engineering firm, as my father was an architect and my grandfather worked as a rocket engineer for Lockheed Martin. In my family, I guess you could say that we're all very much engineer driven. And I found that even as a young child, I enjoyed building things and working with others on working on and building projects, and didn't exactly know for sure that it was a career path I'd want to go towards working in engineering. I always thought it was kind of a little bit, oddball, brainiac kind of work, and sometimes found it kind of boring just looking at how my grandfather and my dad went about doing their work. So I wasn't really sure that that was exactly where I wanted to go. But I ended up finding that working at our company as a land surveyor and taking the online programs that I needed to take at Valencia Community College for my drafting program, which I took engineering drawing, introduction to AutoCAD, and advanced AutoCAD. These three main programs are what I needed for my associates in science. In doing that program, I took this program and did it in under 5 years. I had to work full time since I was the main gross producer in my household. So I was having to go to school part time. And so part of that I did online, and then part of that I went in person to East Campus, as well as I had to take a few courses at West Campus, Valencia. And going to school, since I was doing part-time, it came out to a little bit over $9,896, and that wasn't including books. When it came to paying for school, working here at DRMP, they had a program that for every single semester I had, if I brought in my progress report and showed that I passed the class and the course required for this AutoCAD program, they'd reimburse me. So in which I was pretty much debt-free, though I had to pay the initial costs in the beginning of the semester for the class. As long as I passed it with a B or higher, I would be reimbursed by the company with a check within the end of that semester. In completing this degree, like I said, I did a full year internship in which we had a few other different programs, which recently we had 3D CAD, which has upcome at our company, which we don't just do conventional surveying. We have a 3D scanner that we have on the back of the pickup, which we can go out onto a job site and shoot with a 360-degree angle shot with a 3D scanner to get full dimensions of elevations on a job site. And so I had to learn that kind of program in my internship, as well as I had already learned at school, Valencia, how to use online CAD. Both these programs became very beneficial paying attention online on the program when it came to doing my interview when I was wanting to do this internship. They saw that I had the knowledge and saw the degree that I had in my associates in science, as well as they saw that I had 3 certificates going there at Valencia Community College, which I had rapid prototyping, I had drafting AutoCAD, and 3D CAD, which that actually proved that I was able to get 3 extra certificates other than a single one, which I would have if I ended up going to Seminole Community College, which only provided 1, and that was just in AutoCAD in general. They found that very valuable, and so they decided to hire me on as a paid intern, and within a year, I became a full-out AutoCAD technician. Working in this field, I would work most of the time by myself on certain jobs when they're not that large, but when we have a large job, we'll end up working with other AutoCAD technicians, which we will split up the job in different segments so then we can get the job done quicker and more efficient with less issues. In working in this career field, there's many job skills that are required. You must be able to expect to sometimes work late at night past a 10-hour shift. Sometimes they're here for 12, sometimes even 15 without even a lunch break. That just all depends on if you're running low on budget and you're having to hurry up and get this work done to give to your client. as well as you gotta be able to work with other AutoCAD technicians, because as I said, you'll have some large jobs that necessarily you can't complete on your own, so you have to break it up into segments with the other CAD technicians and be able to process that all individually, and you bring it all together and be able to give the client that data in under a certain amount of time as required. As well as you'll have to be able to be sitting down almost all day at a computer, staring at the computer, looking at the mouse, and fixing lines and elevations and checking distances. Sometimes you even have to call up the land surveyor that brought you that data and be able to fix any kind of glitches or wrong elevations that have been made and have them go back out to the job and get the correct elevation or distance shot that is needed for a specific feature that is showing up on the program. When I was going to Valencia Community College, I had to do a career interview with an employee at the company that worked in the career path I was going at. That career interview was with Bryant King, as I had mentioned before, that worked here at Valencia Community College. He had gone through the full drafting program, such as myself, and at that time he had gone to University of Florida, and he had told me basically a good summary of what all it took to become an AutoCAD tech. In that, he basically explained that you, as I said, the main skills you'd need, which you have to be able to work with others, you have to be able to work late hours sometimes, and have patience, and also be aggressive sometimes when it comes to getting data and information from the field that may not be complete or right, and you have to call up the surveyor that's out in the field to get those shots again if they come up corrupt or incomplete. He explained to me exactly what it was like going through the process. As for myself, we both worked in the field originally at the company, and so we both knew what it was like and exactly what to expect from the land surveyors, and to be able to look at any of the data we have with the surveyor's eye and with the fine detail and understand where, if there's an issue, how you might be able to fix it in the office without having to call up the surveyor, by knowing easy mistakes and how to fix them. Now that I'm working here at DRMP as a land survey AutoCAD technician, I'm making just a little bit around $35,000 a year, and hopefully within the next couple of years, through pay increases and advancement showing how I've improved over the years, we'll eventually try and get up to close to $40,000 a year. Working here at DRMP has been very beneficial, thanks to them helping me with school and working through my different schedules when I was going to school. Definitely showed that they care about their employees and that I can do just about anything I put my mind to. I'm also very grateful that they were able to help me pay for school, because without them, I'm sure I'd be very much in debt, which I've been taught even as a child to do your best to not borrow from the bank or from online banking, credit cards. Try and pay everything in cash, in which this is beneficial. There were a couple courses, though, that I did do so well, and that ended up coming directly out of pocket because I didn't completely pass the class at that time. But all the classes I did complete, the company paid complete. And I was very grateful to that. And I have to say that I very much enjoy myself here at DRMP, and I hope that if you're looking at going in this career path, that you might be interested in coming and working here as a draftsman, or even as an engineer if you decide to go in an engineering pathway. I hope very much this was very informative, and that you can be able to find yourself the right career path. This may not be the career. You have a good day.